In the final 48 hours of World War II in Europe, the most powerful man in Nazi Germany was hiding underground, while his empire burned above him. Late April, 1945, General Helmuth Weidling stands at the entrance of the FH Rare bunker. In his hand, he carries a message that could save the lives of thousands, but before he can deliver it to Hitler, he must pass through 3 security checkpoints, places where even the highest-ranking officials are not easily allowed through. Outside, Berlin is collapsing. But defeat is not an option on his table. He walks down the corridor and reaches the first checkpoint. He hands his identification card to the soldier sitting behind the desk and says, "I am General Helmuth Weidling, please take me to the Führer." The soldier nods. He enters a code, the sealed door opens. Weidling steps inside. He has passed the easiest checkpoint. But the closer he gets to Hitler, the tighter the security becomes. Now he enters an area known as the war bunker. To deliver the message, he must pass 2 more checkpoints. Beneath his feet lies reinforced concrete over 2.6 meters thick. Above his head, a ceiling nearly 2.7 meters thick. The bunker is protected against bombardment, but the mere possibility of arrest fills the heart with fear and anxiety. American and British forces are advancing rapidly from Western Germany, capturing major cities like Munich, Nuremberg, and Hamburg. The Nazi position weakens every day. The first section of the bunker houses a massive air filtration system, constantly running, supplying fresh air to this underground city and protecting it from gas attacks. Nearby is the dining hall next to the kitchen, where meals are prepared for everyone, including Hitler's vegetarian food. Beyond that lies the food storage area. The city is surrounded, and Weidling knows the bunker's food supplies will soon run out. He forces his fear aside and focuses on the next checkpoint, the Führer's bunker, where Hitler and his closest circle live. Here is the bedroom and living quarters of Magda Goebbels, where she lives with her 6 children. They are the family of Joseph Goebbels, Minister of Propaganda, one of Hitler's most trusted allies, and one of the Nazi Party's most brutal anti-Semites. Nearby are the quarters for guards and guests, where Hitler's personal staff sleep. Secretaries, military personnel, bodyguards, and temporary visitors. Weidling is now the commander of Berlin's defense zone, the last line of resistance against total Soviet control of the city. Despite his rank, it is still unclear whether he will be allowed through the second checkpoint. "I must speak with the Führer," Weidling says. The guard replies, "What's it about?" Weidling looks at him and says firmly, "That's not something you need to know." The guard checks his identification and picks up the phone. The Führer's bunker is protected by reinforced concrete nearly 3.6 meters thick, with several meters of packed earth above it. The floor is about 2 meters thick, and the walls of each room are more than a meter wide. This guard post is the only entrance and exit. "Hand over your weapon," the guard says. Weidling gives up his pistol. "You may enter." He descends the stairs. As he approaches the next door, General Wilhelm Burgdorf steps out and asks, "Why is it so urgent that you speak with the Führer?" "I must speak with him immediately," Weidling replies. "The Führer cannot see you right now," Burgdorf says. "I'll deliver your message." "I must deliver it myself," Weidling insists. "The city is in chaos, let me in." Burgdorf hesitates. The soldiers tighten their grip on their weapons. At this stage of the war, trust has almost disappeared. Betrayal is everywhere. Confidential information leaks to the enemy every day. Weidling's letter could save thousands of lives, but unless he convinces the guards of its urgency, he will not pass. At that exact moment, A bomb from an enemy aircraft lands near the bunker. The entire structure shakes. Violently, dust falls from the ceiling. I must deliver this message to the Führer, Weidling pleads. Bergdorf immediately grabs him and pulls him past the final checkpoint. As Weidling enters the Führer's bunker, the tension intensifies. Though he has passed all 3 checkpoints, everyone knows Hitler has executed officers for far less serious messages. Despite housing the most powerful figures of the Nazi regime, what Weidling sees inside is far from what he imagined. The air is damp, stale, foul. The bunker is built below the groundwater level. The generators in the room to the left struggle to supply enough electricity. On the right, typing machines, young women sit motionless. At desks, just a week ago, they were typing orders rapidly and precisely. Now, they sit idle. The men stare toward the far end of the room. Someone is approaching. That room was originally meant for staff quarters, but now it belongs to the man walking toward them. Inside, a small single bed, a table, and a wardrobe. The man is Martin Bormann, Hitler's most trusted secretary. Bormann immediately understands that when Weidling and Bergdorf stand together, the news is bad. They whisper in a corner. Weidling explains the situation. Bergdorf agrees to fetch Goebbels. Bormann says he will bring Hitler. They agree to meet in the map room, where Weidling will deliver his report. The corridor walls are lined with Nazi propaganda posters, an ideology already collapsing outside. This wide corridor serves 2 purposes. It connects the senior command rooms, where strategies are debated, and it functions as a waiting area for the private conference space known as the map room. Nearly everyone there, including Helmuth Weidling, has witnessed Hitler's rage, madness, and paranoia in this very place, where he cursed and humiliated his generals. Bergdorf knocks on the door off the conference room. After a moment, a voice says, "Come in, gentlemen." This section of the bunker serves multiple functions. It is Goebbels' office, and the medical station. Inside is a small medical bed, cabinets filled with medicine and instruments, and a desk where Goebbels works. At the back is a small bedroom for Dr. Ludwig Stumpfegger, Hitler's personal physician and surgeon. Nearby is Goebbels' private bedroom, where he sometimes hides, away from his family living in the upper bunker. Bergdorf informs Goebbels that the situation is critical and they must go to the map room immediately. Across the corridor, directly opposite Goebbels' office, lies Hitler's private section. First, Hitler's office. Simple furnishings. A small desk. A black telephone. Next, his resting room. A wide couch. Against the back wall. An oxygen tank in the corner. Hitler always kept one nearby, fearing suffocation. A small coffee table covered in papers. A thick red carpet beneath. On the opposite wall, another small table with books, and a large portrait of Frederick the Great, Hitler's hero. He shared this space with his German shepherd. To the left, Eva Braun's room. A small bed, a wardrobe, and a table. Hitler's own bedroom is similar, just a larger desk, 2 chairs, a small bed, cabinets, and a photograph of his mother, which he carried everywhere. In the room stands a large safe. Experts believe it held sensitive documents, foreign relations, top secret information, but history swallowed the truth. Bormann informs Hitler that Weidling has an urgent message. They head to the map room. Inside the small war room, there is no decoration. A cold metal table in the center, and an old, large map on the wall. A map showing the greatest territorial extent of Nazi Germany, an empire that no longer exists. Weidling spreads his map on the table. Whatever happens next is out of his control. Soon after, Hitler experiences one of the darkest moments of his life. His second-in-command, Heinrich Himmler, the architect of the Holocaust, has secretly attempted to negotiate peace with the Allies. Hitler learns of this through a BBC radio broadcast that he erupts in fury. He declares to everyone in the bunker that Himmler's secret negotiations are the greatest betrayal has ever witnessed. He orders Himmler arrested, and demands that anyone involved be executed on the spot. Weidling stands frozen, deeply afraid of the punishment that may await him. Slowly, a small group gathers around him, the remaining high command begins studying the map. Hitler enters. Be at ease, he says. This is the decisive moment. Weidling knows nothing will end well. The Soviets are advancing in every front. German forces are retreating hundreds of meters from all sides. The enemy is now less than 1 kilometer from the bunker. But there is worse news. As Weidling speaks, the walls feel as if they are closing in. My Führer, Berlin will run out of ammunition within 24 hours. Only a small amount remains. Aircraft can no longer deliver supplies. Our forces are severely reduced. Hitler does not interrupt. He stares at the map. Weidling continues, I recommend we evacuate the city. We have already lost over 15,000 of our youngest soldiers. Hitler cuts him off. That is what young men are born for. Weidling nearly stumbles. He plays his final card. I have already prepared the evacuation order. We can begin immediately. All we need is your signature. At that moment, Goebbels intervenes. What you are suggesting's fantasy. The Führer cannot simply flee. Weidling's heart pounds, sweat beads on his forehead. Everyone in the room knows the once powerful Führer is no longer the ruthless commander he once was. In recent weeks, he has completely detached from reality. He refuses to accept that victory is impossible. Finally, Hitler speaks, Gentlemen, we are not leaving Berlin. Contact the generals outside the city. They will deliver the final blow to the Soviets. He stands and leaves the room. Weidling remains motionless, silent. On April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun, the woman he had married less than 40 hours earlier in this very conference room, were found dead. Heinz Ling, Hitler's personal valet, was the first to encounter the scene. While searching for Hitler, he smelled gunpowder in the damp air outside the bedroom. But the door was locked. He immediately called Bormann. Together, they forced the door open and saw the bodies. Both corpses were carried to the emergency exit leading to the Reich Chancellery garden above the bunker. Resources were so scarce that SS guards hurriedly buried Hitler's body in a bomb crater. They siphoned fuel from abandoned vehicles to burn the bodies. When the fire died down, the remains were covered with soil to conceal them completely. In the hours that followed, several senior Nazi officials still refused to surrender, including Joseph Goebbels. Before he and his wife Magda took their own lives, they murdered their 6 innocent children. General Weidling chose to surrender, hoping to save the lives of the remaining soldiers under his command. On May 2, he ordered the last defenders of Berlin to lay down their weapons. Even so, scattered German units unaware of the surrender continued fighting until May 7, when unconditional surrender was declared. The structure that once served as the Nazi command center was later destroyed by Soviet forces and then East Germany. Due to its immense strength, parts of it still remain, ruined, abandoned. The man responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews, 2 million Poles, 3 million Soviet POWs, and the devastation of Europe, was buried without ceremony, in an unmarked grave. Today, only a parking lot remains. What we witness in these final hours is not merely the fall of a city or the end of a war. It is the collapse of an ideology. A regime built on fear, hatred, and lies slowly suffocated inside a concrete bunker. Outside, Berlin burned. Inside, its leaders still spoke of victory. Hitler denied reality until his final moment. That he did not fight for his people, nor for his soldiers, But only for the illusion of power. General Weidling represented humanity's last choice, surrender to save lives, and Hitler represented the opposite choice, death to preserve a myth. The bunker meant to protect a 1,000-year empire survived only a few weeks, and the man who believed himself eternal vanished into the ground without a name, without a grave, and without honor. History is not judged by the shouts of the victors, but by the silence of the ruins. And today, the place that once served us the command center of a nightmare is nothing more than a simple parking lot. But remembering this story is a warning, that power without humanity always ends this way. Well, today's video is over. If you are interested in scientific topics, history, inventions, wars and discoveries, remember that this channel is for you, so subscribe and activate the bell.